Welcome everyone to this channel, and it's round one, the first day of Manufacturer Series Season 2, and we're driving the Porsche, the Taycan, and this is the first day, so I'm excited. So we jump straight into qualifying, and in case you're new here, qualifying, you get 5 minutes to try and set the best time, which will eventually determine where you'll sit on the grid on the day of the race, or rather when the race starts. So I get out of the pits on the soft compound tires because I really want to send this thing and set the best time I can. So straight away I just go through the corners trying to get some temperature into those tires. So I go down the straight, currently in P7 for qualifying, and I come down this second last corner into the last corner, and there's a whole big group of people ahead of me, and you really don't want that when you're trying to qualify. So I pull off to the right and literally let everyone pass so that I can have the track to myself, so that I'll be able to set the best time that I can. So I literally sit there and wait for everyone to go past, and I made sure I'm alone on the track, and then I started driving. So obviously this lap is rained for that reason, so it's not really going to count, but it's going to help me get those corners right and get some temperature into my tires before I really start the flying lap. So I'm going to use every corner to get as much scrum as I can and get heat into those tires, so that as I'm coming down for my first lap, I'm ready to send this thing. So I'm going to come down the last corner and begin my flying lap. So I'll sit on the left hand side. So I'll sit on the left hand side of the track, and then I'll brake at the 100-meter mark and turn easily now because the tires are warm now. And someone is leaving the pit, so I need to be careful of that. But then I get my line spot on, just hugging the inside of that line and that curb, and into this left and sweeping right hand corner as fast as I can. Using the exit curb, I go down into this straight, and I'm gonna time my braking to absolute perfection, and then leave using the exit tarmac and the exit curb, and there you go. So I come round to complete my lap, and surprisingly, believe it or not, I'm on pole position, at least provisional pole. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in a few more laps, just trying to improve on that 54.5 seconds. And for the many laps I put in, I was not able to improve on that time. But by the end of the qualifying, I was second placed. The BMW M4 being driven by that guy with that name over there was on pole. Now I want you to take a look at that screen, because we'll come back to that screen later, because it has so much about this video. I'm going to talk about it at the end of the video. Anyway, so we go ahead with the pre-match shenanigans, the music, the introduction. It's all nice. And at this point, I've never really started a race in Gran Turismo Sport in second place. Actually, I've never started any race in the top 5. So this is a big moment for me. It's a big race, and my heart is racing, and I'm really nervous about this race. But I really want to get a good result, so I'm totally focused on the race. So there you go. So that's the BMW M4 sitting in front of me on the grid. That's the Porsche I'm driving, right behind the BMW. There you go. That's your boy right there. And right behind me is another Porsche. So we start the race, and into the third lap, I'm already passing people left, right, and center. And this guy in front of me is really skidding all over the place. The last thing you want is to get some dirt on your tires, because you're going to be skidding all over the place. And to make matters worse, he has a penalty, so I'm just gonna fly past that guy into the second last corner to finish lap number 3 in P3. So again, we go into the straight. Someone ahead has a penalty, so that's a good sign. So I'm gonna whip this forward up to this section where the guy in the BMW is really skidding all over the place. And I want you to take a note of this BMW. So he skids, loses time, has a penalty, but is still accelerating so quickly. So as he serves his penalty, I overtake him momentarily, but as I go to turn right, he's already there. So that's the power of the BMW. It's really quick. Doesn't turn that well, but just raw horsepower. It's a rocket ship down the straight. You can see how he's gaining and speeding away from me. It's incredible, that BMW M4. And the same goes for the M6 in the Group 3 category. Those BMWs are really quick. Anyway, so I go to the left, think about a move, but then I back out. I don't want any penalties. I want to keep this race as clean as possible. And so I stay behind second place BMW. And I follow him. I try my best to get into the slipstream, but he's too quick. And he pulls away every little stretch of straight tarmac. He will pull away from me. Then I'm gonna get close in the corners, because the Porsche has, I think, the best corner speed of all the cars in this game. But anyway, I set my personal best lap at the end of lap 6 as I begin, at the end of lap 5 as I begin the 6th lap. And I'm getting closer to the BMW in the corners, but every time he pulls away in the straights. As you can see, he's so quick. The BMW is really quick. Anyway, so I'll whip this forward all the way to, and you can see I'm setting purple sectors in the process. So I'm gonna whip this forward to lap number 7. At this point, we all have tire problems. Our tires are starting to wear off. But I'm right behind the BMW, setting a purple lap, and I'm trying to get to the slipstream of this BMW M4. Actually, the first and second place people are all driving BMWs, and then me in the Porsche at number 3. So I'm gonna try and get as close as possible to these BMWs and hope they make a mistake, or maybe try and get to the slipstream and try to accelerate out of the corners, which is a strong point of this Porsche. Anyway, so we go down the second last corner. The BMW skids, has a lockup, and we still can't make a move, because as soon as he gets his car in shape in a straight line, he's just gonna disappear, just as you can see in that clip right there. The BMW, man. I was starting to think at some point I should have signed for the BMW. But anyway, I love the Porsche. I love driving Porsches, and this is the fate I chose. So the two BMWs ahead of me start fighting, which is always nice to see. The guys ahead of you fighting, because a position or two is up for grabs. Anyway, so You can see the speed of that BMW down the straight. So I'm gonna think about a move here, but then I back out again, just to I'm just being a bit too cautious in this race. Anyway, so the first BMW, I'll call it the light blue BMW, gets off the track, gets himself a 1 second penalty for exceeding track limits. But then this looks like a squabble about to happen in this turn, so I'm gonna stay back, and it's exactly what I thought it was. And then I'm gonna sit in second place behind the blue BMW as we get into this S. And you can see how the BMW is struggling in the corners. A bit of contact there, but no big deal because I didn't push him off the track. But as soon as we get into the straight, you can see how the BMW ahead of me is accelerating, and the one behind me is really catching up to me. So I'm gonna go inside and take this right-hander, this last corner of lap number 10, take it beautifully. But the BMW ahead of me also gets a penalty for exceeding track limits, and so that's a good sign because I know it's going to be slowed down in the penalty serving zone. So I try my best to stick behind him, but already you can see we have traffic ahead. So I'm going to get into that corner. At this point we are all struggling with tires, so just need to be careful, need to adjust your braking points, need to adjust the speed at which you're going through the corners. But as soon as you get into the straight, the BMW disappears, serves his penalty, and I still can't catch him. By the time I try to catch him, he's already gone. But I'm loving the race at this point. It's really interesting. So for the next few laps, I'll be trying to get a hold of this BMW as the guys in traffic ahead of us also serve penalties. The last thing you want is being lapped and you're still serving penalties. I've been in that situation too many times as I've been learning this game. Anyway, so people are starting to pit, as you can see on the left hand side, and my strategy was to pit. So in lap 12, the first BMW goes off track. I'm sure he gets himself a penalty and gives up the first position to Chris Crinier and the Porsche are taken. So at this point it's just about creating as much space as we can with the second and third place, so that by the time we get into the pits in lap 15, we have enough buffer to change tires and refuel and still get out ahead of the pack. So I'm gonna fast forward this part because it's literally just me going around the track in first place, cruising, and we'll come back to the video in lap 15, which is my in lap as I get into the pits. And I really want you to take note of this part of the video because it's very significant in this video. So I put on the soft compound tires and a request for no more fuel because I have enough fuel to go through the race. So I'm gonna go for the soft compound tires. It was a nice pit stop, didn't take too much time, and you can see in the periphery number 1 is there ahead of me. Now I didn't see the second place BMW right there, and I think I pushed him. Actually, I don't think, I actually know I pushed him off the track, and I'm really sorry for the guy driving that BMW. Really sorry. I didn't see you there. I should have checked the mirrors, I should have looked back, I should have done better. I feel like I need to be shot at this point. Anyway, so moving on with the race, I'm gonna serve my penalty for pushing him off the track, and that will lose me second position to the other Porsche in this race. So right now for the next few laps is to first of all get temperature into those soft compound tires and try and catch first and second place and see if we can finish this race with at least a podium. Anyway, I'm gonna whip this forward up to the last laps of this race, and you can see it was all about just me trying to catch up with these guys. So a fight has ensued between first and second place. That's always a good thing to see if you're a racing driver, people fighting. So I'm gonna give second place space there, back off from that turn and let him go ahead just to avoid any penalties. I already feel very bad about that BMW. I pushed off the track. And so the Porsche is gonna serve a penalty for I'm not sure what, and he's also going to go off track, so he's going to have an additional penalty for that, and that will make our pass on him much easier. So just gonna send it to the right, and at this point it's just me and the first place car, but then he loses it there in that corner, and that leaves me out in the lead. Now at this point, I've never been in this position in Gran Turismo sport since I started playing this game a few months ago, so I'm too excited at this point, but I really want to contain myself and finish the race, and that's exactly what I did. So I was just cruising throughout this few last laps of the race. I was so excited, too happy to be in first place, and I was already thinking about I thought I was Hamilton for some time there, and I remember all the races he won. So we come down and finish the race in first place, and then all of a sudden we're in second and third and fourth, and we end up finishing in 11, even though we set the fastest lap. And so at this point I'm really confused. I'm wondering what the hell happened, and I only have 2 points. I had 4 points before I started this race from a previous race I had done, but right now I have 2 points. 2 points, and I finished the race in 11th, even though I know I finished first. So I've never been this confused ever in my life. But let's go back and look at that pit stop we made, because this is where this is what the time is now. As you can see right there, I have the soft compound tires already on. I didn't check that. I thought I had the medium tires on, and I was supposed to put the soft compound tires, but in actual sense I had the soft compound tires, so I was supposed to put the medium compound tires to finish the race, as is the requirement of the race. And that's why I think I got a 1 minute penalty. If I'm not wrong, I think I got a 1 minute penalty, and that's what made me finish 11th, even though I finished first on the track. So mixed feelings in there. I was extremely excited about finishing a race fast, but then again, no one will ever see that record because it was recorded as 11th place, which is still not too bad for me given my record and given how long I've played this game. So a bittersweet feeling for the first race of the manufacturer series of 2020-2021. But anyway, that was it. That's what happened today. Thanks for watching, and I hope for better luck next time, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.